Hello everyone, my name is Tareem Kalair and today I'll be speaking to you about career development and interpersonal relationships in a workplace. First of all, this is my identification. I hope you could see that. Alright, so let's begin. So basically the first thing I would want to talk about in any kind of work environment, the first thing you need to be, good on is professional skills. Professional skills are very important, whether in any kind of environment that you are in, whether it's personal or professional. Basically, that comes off of as someone that's, interested in the work that they do. If you are on time to work every day in the morning, then, they know that you want to be there. If you have the ability to effectively communicate through, email, then they know that, you have the ability to effectively communicate across the team as well. It also shows as if that you're an organized person and you have the ability to plan ahead because, you have that professional skills built within you. Also, it shows that you have the ability to learn, whether it's within your team. You have the ability to do everything that you can because you want to enhance yourself as an individual, as a professional well-being. Also, it determines whether you're going to be successful and also the kind of failures that you're going to have as an employee. Because, if you're professional enough that your manager around you can see where, you have the ability to enhance, where you have the ability where, you can enhance others as well. So this is where professional skills is very important. Also, piggybacking on professional skills, active listening is one of the main factors right after professional skills, because active listening is one of the professional skills that's very important in a work environment. Because if you have the ability to actively listen to someone, then you have the ability to, provide and give feedback. Basically, you get the feedback and then you could provide it as well. So you have that ability to effectively understand someone while, you are able to communicate that information back to them. So basically being an effective listener means you have the ability to pay attention to, close details as well. Like you are paying attention to everything around you. And most likely if you're having a conversation on a regular basis with someone, they will notice the things that you kind of remember and the things that you say in your conversations that will come off as you were actually paying attention and listening. It shows that you have the ability to take on some responsibility because you were actually paying attention. Also comes off as being a team player because you're providing that feedback, you're keeping everyone in the loop, you're effectively listening, and then you're providing that information back to them. For example, if you're in a team meeting and a few of your peers aren't there, you have the ability of listening and then you're giving that information back. So that's an educational system as well that's building, that's very important to employers. Also, communication skills is very important. That's how well you're able to interact with someone verbally. So this, can be verbal and non-verbal. It just depends on how it is. In a work environment, the first moment that you walk into an interview, the first thing a person notices is your first impression. So how well you're dressed, that would be nonverbal communication. So that is something that comes off without you even speaking or saying anything. But communication is very important because it displays your personality. It gives you the ability to display yourself as a person. So it's kind of like your visual representation. Also, that kind of goes back on, effectively communicating. There's 7 C's of communication, which means being concise. Basically, you know exactly what you're saying, being correct, actually proving correct facts that you're relaying to someone, and also being considerate of the people around you. So you're not saying something that you're not supposed to say at that moment. So it's kind of like time, place, and manner that comes into it. Being complete means you're giving full information that's very detailed, and clear kind of goes off as concise as well. Conversational means you have the ability of someone giving basically someone able to speak with you while you're giving that information back. And being confident in what you say. And that's the main factor, because if you're not confident, then no one will actually take you serious with anything that you say. Also, networking is very important. That's basically the main factors of a work environment, networking, basically knowing everyone around you and how well to interact with them. That could be through LinkedIn or your resume. Your LinkedIn is basically your resume, but visual. So someone is able to see your whole life story of, your history, your work life and everything through your LinkedIn profile. And that's the best way to interact with someone. It possibly leads to greater jobs by having that network and someone knowing something, and then they kind of suggest you for a certain position. It also comes up as how well you interact with others. Your employers definitely notice if you're actually networking with the people around you and how well you're able to network with them. Because if you're going out of your bubble by interacting with other teams around you, that's very important in regards to expanding your professional life. Also, collaboration and teamwork. So if you have all these skills, you should definitely have the ability to effectively collaborate with your team. Basically, that shows how well you're able to interact with others around you. So definitely, if you're able to network, if you have communication skills, you're an active listener, you should definitely have the ability of teamwork. Because that's basically the most important factor, because in any kind of workplace, you're not going to be alone. You're going to have people around you, and you have to be able to effectively talk to them. You have to be able to respect them. So it's kind of like your values that you have in your household. You want to make sure that you're treating someone the way that you want to be treated. So it's just coming off as being respectful, valuing others, embracing diversity. All these things are very important. Also, problem solving is the main factor, because if you're going to be in a meeting room with others around you, there's going to be people with so many different opinions. And at that moment, that's where teamwork will come into, and you being able to solve a certain problem. So you will need to analyze the situation. You need to evaluate what's going on and what kind of information you will say to, make the situation better. And then you have to effectively actually able to solve the problem. So in multiple interviews, if you've ever gone to an interview, the first question that they would ask you would be, what was the time that you faced a problem, whether it's a work problem or a personal problem, and what steps did you take to resolve it? So this is kind of like a step-by-step procedure that you need to do while you're analyzing any kind of problem in a workplace. Also, professional etiquette and professionalism is very important, because basically it comes off of, how well you're able to, basically soft skills are very important, because if you think about it, if someone who has a degree and they just came out of college, but they lack the soft skills is, your, professional etiquette, how well you're able to display yourself in person, and how well you're able to, effectively communicate through email, if you have a firm handshake or not, if you're confident in what you say, if you're eager to learn, and basically you're willing to learn anything possible. All of this comes off as professionalism and something that's very positive in the employer's eye. And lastly, that goes back to confidence. Confidence is very important because it displays your ability of believing in yourself. And I feel like that's where this factor comes out of. Some people display fear as something that they should be scared of, but fear should most likely be something that means face everything and rise above and beyond. So it's just facing everything and going above. And that's very important. So if you think about confidence, think about fear as well, and just facing everything. And that will show as someone that's, productive and someone that's reliable, because you know that they're confident in what they say, and you would actually trust someone like that. So all of these factors, I would definitely advise you to consider for professional environment and enhancing yourself in career development. But other than that, that is my presentation. Thank you so much. You have a great day.